Hey guys, Canoe here. Just doing a quick video, mostly a response to somebody else's video. They built in their single player world a villager blender. I've actually ended up doing the same on my multiplayer world. The the biggest problem with them though, basically they're taking something like this. Um, I think I've lost my villager or doors. I've lost my doors. Okay. Um, anyways, this is a villager spawner. The only thing it's missing is 6 doors total. But they take something like this and they pump them into a merchant system or a trading system. And when they're done with the villager, so if they have no more good trades, or if the trading system is full, they could be shipped off to a system and converted into zombies, and then once zombies, killed for XP. Now, the problem with this is these spawners continuously spawn unless you either manually shut them off, or you have some way to track how many extra you've produced and put into your XP system. Now, on my multiplayer world, I have approximately, well, I do have a counter set up to turn the system off after approximately 150 villagers. This produces enough XP from 0 to get to 31. Now, by doing so, you get XP while around your base. You don't actually have to sit there and wait for it to grind, unlike a lot of XP farms. You can actually walk around your base and get 30 levels of XP just by being around. Now, what, 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 what? Sorry about that, guys. We're back. Actually had some good news. The girlfriend came in. We're actually expecting, and the baby kicked for the first time. So she wanted to talk to me. That's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited now. Oh, breaking. Okay. Anyways, where was I? So system. Yes. So a way to turn it off so that you don't, because some people, of course, they're not running on gaming PCs. They're not even running on full desktops. So a lot of people are running on older laptops, things like that. They make it really hard to deal with a large number of entities. So you can kind of cap it where it's good for your system. Now, me personally, on single player, I have an extremely well built gaming PC, so I could probably push 300 or 400 and not actually have a problem. I've done similar before with other mobs, so it's definitely something that I could probably do. I don't know if it's reasonable to do that much. I don't know, because it can affect things like iron farms and stuff like that with how many villagers you get. So on a single world, so I don't think I'd ever actually go that big. But the point is, we need a way to track it so that you don't crash your computer, you don't crash the server you're playing on. So what I came up with, and there's the stripped down version over here, and then there's the version that actually has a demonstration attached to it. Now, let me just set this up a little bit. Okay. Actually, I'll take 2 back. Alright, so what this system does is anytime a mob, and you can use tripwires, you can use pressure plates, whatever you want to detect the mob. My preferred method is actually tripwire. It's more accurate. There is a chance if you have too many mobs at once that 2 of them will go over the pressure plate at one time, and it'll only count as 1, but it's not a big deal if that happens in reality. So, but what's happening here is when the villager goes over your trigger source, it toggles this monostable circuit. It will produce a 1 pulse tick, allowing 1 item to flow into this hopper. Now, this hopper is not dispensing back into the other because underneath there is a torch turning it off. Now, and the reason it's not putting out a comparator pulse either is because we have items over here that's comparing to. So the signal output from this one must be greater than or equal to the output of this one. Now, so we have 23 items here, and we have 24 in this one. Once it actually hits 23, it'll produce a two stone signal length, and it will then be equal to and be able to issue a pulse into this dropper T flip-flop. Once that happens, it'll then toggle this half of the circuit, closing the door, or whatever method you want. You could have it open up a pit, you could, numerous things. This is the output though. And it will turn off this torch, resetting all the items back into this hopper, so it's ready to go once you turn the system back on. So we got about 2 more, and then the system will flip over, so we'll give that a go. Come on, guy. Villagers like to fight the current. And there it goes. So it triggered the system, it turned the torch off, and now this is being emptied into this hopper again to start counting again. Now, even though they can still get over the pressure plate, it will not actually count because this torch is off until we manually turn the system back on. And as you can see right now, the villager is going to suffocate to death. Now, the input is right here on this bottom dropper, so once you want to start counting again, so you've gone over, you've turned all your villagers into zombies, you've ground them for XP, and we want to start counting villagers again. We just hit this button, or wherever your input is, you can route it into this, of course, and it will toggle it back on. That torch is back on again, meaning that it will hold the items, and this door is open again, letting villagers flow. Now here's the stripped down version. Putting any signal into this, you have to put the signal into the actual piece of sand to trigger the circuit. So you can do it on this side, this side. You could probably put the input on this side. I'm not sure how that would work. I never played with that, especially with the hopper there. It could cause some complications, but right there and right here are your 2 main inputs. And your output is basically anywhere on this block. So that is your output area. And how many do we have here? We'll actually just move the whole system over. So triggered, and there's your output. And I'll show you how to build it. Now, this system is 6 blocks wide by 4 blocks deep by 4 blocks tall. Because of this one block, there is a piece of redstone down below. So I'm just going to build it off the ground. Okay. So first thing that we want to build is the actual T flip-flop. Now, what we want to do is place 1 dropper facing down, 1 dropper facing towards us, and 1 dropper facing upwards. Now, on top of this hopper, we actually want to attach it to the one, I keep saying hopper, the dropper that's facing downwards. We want to attach a hopper and put in 1 item. While we're here, we can put a button on the back or set up your input however you want to do that. And on this side, we are actually going to put a block right here and place a hopper downwards so that it's not filling into anything. On top of that hopper, we are going to put a comparator on directly in front, and 1 block below we are also going to put a block here, and we're going to bring it 2 blocks out. Now we need to get our redstone dust. We're going to put 1 piece of redstone dust here, 2 repeaters, a block directly in front of the repeater, and an open gap with one underneath. directly beside that, we're going to put a block there, and we're going to fill this section in right there, like so. Now, in the back, we're going to put a comparator out of that hopper, and a comparator facing towards the dropper, but behind one repeater. Now, behind the first comparator we placed out of the hopper, we put one piece of redstone dust. We will put a redstone torch on the side block here. And now we want to put our hoppers together. So they're going to be pointing in towards each other. We'll actually toggle this off. And on this side, we are going to put one block directly diagonal of the hopper, a block here, and one up. We can get rid of these blocks because they are unnecessary. We're going to put a 2-tick repeater into this block, a piece of redstone, and we can actually get rid of this block as well, and we're going to put a redstone torch. Now we do need to get a piston. You can use sticky piston if you don't have slime balls, or you're building this on the survival and you want to save on resources. You can use a normal piston with a piece of sand. That is fine. We're going to put it on the block in front of the repeater, and then sand on top of it. And the only thing left to do is set up the system for how many villagers you want it, or mobs. This can be used for many other designs. How many you want it to count. Now, there are ways to modify this system so that you can count a larger number of mobs if you're wanting to. This system can easily support 64 times 5, a couple hundred easily. So this alone should be enough to count a couple hundred mobs. Now, for what we were doing for demonstration, what I actually do for my single player, we'll use that as a comparison, because I'm doing around 150. So I use zombie flesh because it's a replaceable food. And in this hopper, I put 2 stacks and a half. And then I put the same amount in these hoppers. Now I actually give it one more, just because. And I'll actually move most of this over just to demo that it does work. So this is the system. I already counted a couple hundred. And let me just set this up here. And a button. Should be about 2. There it goes. So systems counted the equivalent of how many items are in this hopper. And this hopper, oh, we did miss one thing. There is a piece of redstone dust right here. That way this hopper will be able to move the items back into this one and reset the system ready for counting again. So that's the entire design, guys. I don't know if it could be made any smaller. I think I've done a pretty good job. Let me know what you think. If you can compact it, leave a video response. I'd love to see a more compact version of this. I've not seen much in the terms of mob counters, so I thought it was a neat project. I hope it helps. If you have any questions, leave a comment, send me a message, and I'll do my best to respond.